10 ways to negate a negative mood. This is another one of the Solopreneur Mastermind Group's Blazing Solos, one-session courses on a particular topic of interest. In this particular course, we will look at negative moods, how they impact your business, and some tips for ameliorating them. Did you wake up this morning feeling like a nattering nabob of negativity? Or is that the way you start each and every day? Do you have negative moods that permeate your solopreneur journey? The stress of the highs and lows of starting and running a business are greater than everyday stresses because with the business, you are usually risking it all. The best analogy I can set forth at this point will resonate more clearly with readers who are or have ever been in sales. One of the things that's key to being an effective salesperson is the ability to handle rejection. The frequency of rejection typically varies with the value of the item being sold. For example, if you're a clerk in a retail clothing store, you may in fact have people not purchase any items when they walk in. Or they might choose to buy some things, but not those items that you suggest as accessories or complementary to their desired goods. But in general, in a typical day, you'll likely make some sales. If, on the other hand, you sell sophisticated computer hardware systems designed for the banking industry, you could make one sale a year. You might be rejected numerous times a week as you travel across the country making presentations, following up on proposals, and checking on how current customers are doing with their equipment. In either case, however, while the frequency of rejection may be different, the emotional effect may be quite the same. The hardest thing to learn for those new to the field of sales is that rejection cannot be taken personally. From a logical standpoint, most often the customer isn't buying because he doesn't like you. Most often he's not buying for other reasons that have nothing to do with you personally. But human nature being what it is, most of us do take rejection personally. If only we were better looking, had a better personality, knew the right things to say, were more eloquent, we could have made that sale. The more successful salespersons are able to look at rejection dispassionately. You learn from why the sale wasn't made and move forward. Now, when you own your own business, many times you need to be the chief salesperson for your firm. But the failure to close a sale here is more than just a simple personal rejection for you. Yes, I know many salespeople earn commissions on what they produce, but the worst that can happen to the salesperson working for another company is that their paycheck is a little bit smaller. For the entrepreneur, the worst that can happen is more grim than for the salesperson because not only does the entrepreneur miss the revenue, he or she also has expenses that the business must pay to stay in operation. Plus, on an emotional level, the business is your creation. It's your baby. You've birthed it, and you're now raising it from toddler on up. Parents live and die, figuratively of course, with the successes and failures of their children. In many ways, your business is analogous to a parenting situation. You ride the roller coaster of success and failure on a daily basis with the firm you are raising. Yes, the stress is high. The business is one of the biggest parts of your life. A lot is riding on its success, and each day brings some successes and some failures to even a business which is tracking to greater and greater heights. It's difficult to be an entrepreneur if you know that you are not well equipped to handle greater levels of stress. Even the brightest and most capable entrepreneur will suffer if he wrecks his emotional or mental or physical health by the killing levels of the stress that his business inflicts upon him. So, sometimes as a result of this stress, or from other factors, even from day-to-day life, your mood can turn sour. And as a small entrepreneur, however, problems can crop up which are either caused by or affected by your mood. Here's 5 examples. The first is clients can choose to engage other businesses if they find you to be an unpleasant or sour person with which to deal. In another course in our Solopreneur Mastermind group, I spoke of Sam the Sandwich Man. Sam was the happiest guy in the world creating and selling $5 sub sandwiches. And I enjoyed stopping in to see Sam once in a while, not only because I had a hankering for ham and cheese on wheat, but also because I enjoyed my brief interactions with my sandwich artiste. Conversely, I recently had an experience at another sandwich shop where the proprietor was surly and rude. Now, it could have been that he was simply having a bad day. After all, I'd been a customer of his several times previously, and the encounter had been okay. But needless to say, after the bad experience, I wasn't too eager to plunk down $20 for a couple sandwiches and soft drinks anytime real soon. A corollary to the unpleasant business person, which is our second problem area, is those who will do business with you, but will be more likely to sort of turn on you if things turn out poorly. Perhaps the best example of these are in the professional world. You got a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant, or someone similar who makes a mistake. If the professional treated the client with respect and had been pleasantly engaging, he or she is much less likely to be pursued for the mistake than the professional who disrespected the client. Our third thought here involves the movie The Secret. Most of us are now familiar with the law of attraction, perhaps made most famous by that movie. You attract that about what you think. Consequently, if you're consistently in a negative frame of mind, this principle states that you will find bad things darkening your door. Now, I believe this is a question of degree. After all, the average individual engages in self-talk throughout the day. We all have little things running through our heads, don't we? 70% of our self-talk is usually negative, even in the most healthy of personalities. What we speak of here is that negative, bad-focused thought pattern that permeates minute after minute, hour after hour. Another problem that can come up in our business scenario with negativity is that negative individuals miss more opportunities. If you're melancholy, downcast, surly, it's more difficult to see potential and excitement in possible avenues of abundance for your business. Conversely, those entrepreneurs with a positive attitude look for ways to succeed wildly. Finally, medical science tells us that stress creates hormones that course through our body. An individual under repeated stress can actually damage their immune system, causing poor health, even disease. Negative or catastrophic attitudes towards situations can result in raging cortisol and similar chemical compounds which, while serving a useful purpose for a short duration of time, our fight or flight response, for example, they can damage the human condition if they're long-lasting. Well, what do we do? Here are 10 simple tips to turn that frown upside down. Take some action on one of your goals. Simply start. Even taking baby steps towards one of your priorities will make you feel better and improve your mood. Write down 10 things for which you are grateful. Oh, come on, you have at least that many, if not more, even if you're in the sourest of moods. Get moving. Exercise can be a perfect mood lifter. But remember, consult your doctor before embarking on any exercise program. Listen to some awesome tunes. Bring beautiful music, inspiring music into your life. Go to the library or fire up the on-demand feature to your cable, or maybe you have one of those internet boxes with which you get movies, and watch a silly one. Watch a silly movie. Coach Annie's personal favorites are Arthur, Animal House, Tommy Boy, Office Space. Our next of our 10 tips is to do something nice for your significant other. How about a neck rub? Or perhaps even something a little bit more sensual. Pet your dog or cat. They'll love you forever, well, at least for the next 10 minutes. But studies show that paying attention to your pet actually lowers your blood pressure and makes you feel better. How about meditating? or take a contemplative walk through nature and simply appreciating the day. Take a relaxing bath, pour in some bubble bath, or light some candles, or just simply float your rubber ducky on the surface of your bathwater. How about calling up a positive friend with whom you haven't spoken in a while? Overall, if you find yourself slipping into a negative mindset frequently, you may want to try some of these tips. Being a negative nabob doesn't work well for anyone, but in particular an entrepreneur. Try to avoid negative thoughts, negative people, or negativity in general. Be as careful with whom and what you allow into your mind as you are with whom and with what you allow into your home. If you find that your negative mood becomes persistent or pathological, never be afraid to consult with a therapist. Finally, if you wouldn't say it to somebody else, don't say it about yourself within your thoughts. We have an exercise below, and it's an interesting idea. It's courtesy and used with permission of one of Coach Annie's clients, and Coach Annie named it in honor of the client. It's called the Audrey Principle. I think you'll find it interesting and perhaps even an amusing approach to conquering negativity in your life.